Welcome back and thank you for tuning in, folks. We have a wild article that came out today from news.bitcoin.com out of all places, and it's titled, Analyst predicts silver prices could reach $200 driven by demand for new EV battery technology. This is going to be a very interesting article. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, but first, do yourself a favor and click subscribe, since I will keep you updated on a daily basis of the newest, latest information. It's your one-stop shop for anything precious metals related. So let's jump straight into this. Now, they're talking about EV battery technology, but there are many other sectors that would also be pushing silver to $200. So Kevin Bambro, a financial expert with over a decade of experience in commodities markets, has predicted that silver could reach $200 per ounce in the next 10 to 15 years, riding the wave of increased demand for a new EV battery technology developed by Samsung. Now, that is an extremely, and I mean an extremely interesting take for many different reasons. Now, he's basing all of the influence of silver reaching $200 by Samsung's new battery without giving context of all the other sectors. I mean, solar is a bigger sector than EV alone, so I'm not sure. I guess they say he's a financial expert with over a decade of experience in commodities markets. I mean, I've been doing this for over a decade too, so I don't know what that's saying, especially since I've been focusing specifically on silver and he's talking about all commodities. I study this stuff on a daily basis. I know the numbers. I'm not sure if he knows the context of how deep the silver shortage really is, or knows that we're 770 million ounces in the red in the last 4 years alone. I'm not sure if he knows what the demand is going to continue to look like with the supply dropping the last 5 years. I'm not sure if he knows that this year we're predicting a supply deficit of 250 million ounces, and each year moving forwards, we're supposed to break that record year after year, getting way worse. I'm not sure if he knows that there's a lot of other technology beyond just Samsung's new EV battery, like solar panels, now using twice as much silver because they're putting panels on the back side of the actual panel instead of just the front side, because the ones that are in sand can reflect off the sand. So if they put double the panels, the photovoltaic cells, PV cells used in solar panels, it will actually be twice as powerful. I'm not sure if he knows that military and aerospace aren't even incorporated in the Silver Institute's numbers, where I'm sure if he is going to do any type of research, I bet he could even, if there's any sources down here, it'd probably be from the Silver Institute. But regardless, I highly doubt that he understands the extent, because to say $200 silver would be because of Samsung's new EV battery, that is missing a lot of context. And I mean a lot. I mean, he's saying, according to Bambro, the new batteries may require 1 kilogram of silver per car, driving silver usage sky high. I don't think he understands that we are already seeing numbers way higher than what he's predicting would be happening in the next 10 to 15 years. I just covered an article 3 days ago, mentioning that we could be running out of silver entirely by the year 2025. I could pull it up right here. Now, usually I don't break down articles in a negative fashion, but that guy saying 10 to 15 years is a wild take. So I just have to share my thoughts on why I think he's way off. I've always said by the year 2025, 2026, some say a lot sooner. I don't want to try to give my audience unrealistic expectations. Even saying the year 2026, I guess, could be, but there's just too much evidence pointing towards that being a much more likely possibility than, let's say, the next couple of months. Regardless, even if, let's say, COMEX can hold up until, let's say 2026 or 2027, it damn sure won't until for the next 10 to 15 years, and our dollar won't even exist in the next 10 to 15 years. And if it did, it would be priced at $200 because of inflation. Just like groceries are so much more money now, the exact same type of situation would be happening to silver. So it wouldn't be silver's price going up, it would be the dollar weakening. But that's not even including all the other context we have from its monetary side of things versus the also industrial side of things. Check this article out that was posted 10 days ago. Industrial demand might consume the entire silver market by 2025. Experts warn that surging industrial and military demand for silver could deplete inventory by 2025. So this guy's not understanding that there's much, much more to this story than just Samsung making a battery for its EV. There's a whole other side of this. We're looking at many other advancements, 11,000 ounces of silver in some torpedoes, 500 ounces in a single Tomahawk missile. I mean, we're talking about defense technology, aerospace, which is, you have surveillance, you have satellites, you have drones, nuclear reactors. Silver's used a lot in now you have in nuclear reactors. You also have the most important, well, not the most important, but a whole other one, which is AI now with AI chips and all these other things. As we advance digitally, we're going to need more silver. So to say 10 to 15 years is a wild take. But I still want to continue on with that article. We're also going to be covering another article that was written today, fresh off the press. Silver weekly price forecast. Silver continues to threaten the same region as silver, is still hanging on. We can actually look at the current price. It broke above $29. So everyone that was thinking it was going to go down to 24, 25 was mistaken. Not saying that would be a bad thing. We can get it for cheaper, but it's held its ground and it went back up like I predicted. We just broke past 12-year highs. So the likelihood of it to go to 2650 and then continue to go down when we just built so much stability and support at way higher prices, that would just be wild, in my opinion. But we live in crazy times. But at the end of the day, to say it would take 10 to 15 years, that's wild. Because in 10 to 15 years, $200 won't be what $200 is today. Like, that is such a wild take, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to bash this guy, and I'm not trying to be a silver pumper, because I feel like I'm one of the more modest people on what silver is going to do in terms of the time frame, because I don't want to give people unrealistic expectations or mislead them. I think that could be extremely dangerous. But to say that long is very, I guess, interesting. I'm curious what he thinks Bitcoin would be by the next 10 to 15 years. I'm sure he would probably say like $20 million or something. So anyways, so let's keep moving on. So silver to reach $200 amid increased electric vehicle adoption driven by new battery technology. I don't know. Does he even know about BEVs? Like, there's way more advancing than just Samsung's vehicle. Like, there's so much more to this story, like so much more. The new solid-state batteries developed by Samsung feature a silver carbon, or AG-C, composite layer for the anode, allowing them to have increased life, dramatically reduced charging times. And by the way, Samsung came out with this today, or whenever. Don't you think there's going to be 30 other advancements within the next just year alone, right? The only reason it would be 10 to 15 years is if everything stayed the same. If the shortage didn't get any worse, if Samsung's the only company that came out with this. Like, think about it realistically. There's going to be so many other car companies that's going to be also adopting this using more silver. So the only way $200 silver would be 10 to 15 years is if production somehow gets better, the demand somehow plateaus, and Samsung is the only one adopting this new feature using more silver. And even at that, the monetary side of things, which I talked about as, the dollar collapses, lost 98% of its purchasing power, that itself, like, that's such a wild take, in my opinion. So anyways, just looking realistically at his thinking is just very interesting. Unless he's saying just this alone, which he is, but not giving context to all it just is very misleading. That's what I've seen about a lot of these articles is I don't know if they're purposely leaving out all the context or if they just don't understand or a little bit of both, right? I don't know. Anyways, so let's move on. According to his estimates, each battery cell might require up to 5 grams of silver, putting the whole requirement for an average car at 1 kilogram. Now, Bambro assesses that if only 20% of the yearly global car market adopts this kind of battery, 16 million EVs, it would increase silver demand sky high, reaching the 16,000 metric ton mark. This would represent a significant portion of the current global silver production, which is approximately 25,000 metric tons annually, highlighting the substantial impact on the silver market. However, Bambro acknowledged that his estimations might be off and that silver numbers might be high, as details for this new tech have not been disclosed. Still, if this happens, it would exacerbate the growing deficit in silver's in today's market, which is experiencing increased demand for industrial applications such as solar panels. Analysts from JP Morgan recently also disclosed they believe silver prices would soar in 2025. So I'm glad that they mentioned a lot sooner, right? And that's led by expected Federal Reserve rate cuts, right? So not only is it the industrial side, which all the context I gave beyond his, of that guy's take, we also have a completely other side of the coin, pun intended, that could also push silver way higher in just the next year. So put those two things together and you have a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. So the guy that wrote this, if this is him, yeah, he's a cryptocurrency journalist. So, and he described himself as late to the game. He got in when the price was during 2017. Yeah, I've been telling people to invest in a Bitcoin when it was 2015, when it was $400. That's when I was talking. I actually had the biggest video on Coinbase, or on YouTube. I had the most popular video on YouTube. It was titled How to Buy Silver for Beginners, or How to Buy Bitcoin for Beginners. And I taught a lot of people how to safely buy Bitcoin and store it in a cold wallet offline, not on a hot wallet. And that was way back when it was just a few $100s. But anyways, yeah. So I think this is very interesting. He has some good points, but not many points, and the points are extremely, extremely drawn out, looking at the time frame. But I'm glad that they did incorporate, J.P. Morgan's thoughts on it. Actually, Bank of America, my most recent video, Bank of America is extremely bullish on silver as well. And I'm not trying to make this video because I'm like, oh, this guy said 10 to 15, like hurting my ego at all. I'm just looking at this realistically, as what he's saying does not add up, given there's so much more evidence beyond Samsung's new battery in one type of EV that uses up to 5 grams. Like, that is insane to think about given all the other context. So yeah, what do you think about that? Now, we could also jump into this chart right here, because I do want to look at this. This was written today, so it's fresh off the press. Silver continues to threaten the same region. The silver markets rallied again in a volatile week, showing proclivity to grind higher overall. That being said, we are testing the $28.50 level, an area that had been reported multiple times in the past, and therefore should be an area that caused a lot of attention to be paid to this market. And this kind of goes hand in hand. What I was talking about earlier in the week is that bottom, right? Take advantage of that bottom when it was like 27, when we saw it down to 26.50, then it was going up to like 27 something, mid 27. And then I was telling people, there's actually an article I covered where it was titled, this silver's bottom is here, and I was letting people know, it is bouncing back up. And since we just saw, once again, those 32.50, that 12-year high, it's more than likely going to go up to 28 before it goes back down to 26. So this might be the bottom. Take advantage of it. And some people did, right? Remember, I'm a broker. I sell precious metals to people just recently. It's not like this is why I'm invested into silver. I've been doing this since 2015. It's what my passion. But anyways, I'm saying I saw a lot of people did take advantage of the bottom. But a lot of other people were waiting for it to go down even lower. And I actually remember talking to someone saying, you know, that's the greed. When they're not like saying 27.50, you're not going to get it because you're trying for it to go lower. Like, that's just testing your luck because that's so cheap as it is. But anyways, though, market participants are likely to see this as a back and forth sideways type of scenario. But more importantly, it's worth noting that the 50-week EMA has come into the picture to offer support. So when we fell into that so-called golden pocket between 50% Fibonacci retracement level and the 61.8% retracement, and then because of this, I think if we do break above 28.50 for a sustained move on at least the daily chart, then I think you will see buyers coming back to the market and trying to pick up silver and run it to the $31 level, which I think is going to happen very shortly since we just broke past 29. Again, that psychological number. Remember, folks, psychology plays a huge part in this. Just like at Walmart, they're going to price something $19.99 instead of $20. Even that 1 penny makes a huge difference because just seeing the number 19 compared to the number 20 looks a lot different. Silver up to 29 again instead of even 28.75 looks a lot higher, especially since you know it's not going to go to 29.01 and drop back down. It's more than likely going to go to 29.01 and then approach back upwards towards where we were several months ago. So a lot of people, like this article just said, is probably going to jump back in, taking advantage before it goes back up, because it's not like it's going to break past 12-year highs and then just never approach towards those 12-year highs again. That's not how it works. We just built so much stability at $29, $30, $31 for so long that it's more than likely going to go back up there before it drops down to 25. So anyways, keep in mind that risk appetite has its part to play with silver market, as well as silver is extraordinarily volatile, so it can be somewhat dangerous to jump in with a huge position. But as things, I mean, this is for someone who's trading, whether you get in at $25, whether you get in at $28, whether you get in at $32, in the grand scheme of things, that will be pennies. Right? As long as you're accumulating silver, a $3 difference when you're talking about three worthless dollars is nothing, in my opinion, unless you're going to be spending like, $10,000 plus dollars. If you waited and it's down $1, maybe you could have got a couple more ounces. But at the end of the day, we're talking about something that's much more expensive than $27 or $31. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a coupon type of person. Some people are. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that you should be getting it at any price, because $29 is such a good deal for something as valuable as silver, and $24 is as well, and $32 is as well, and $50 even. And that's a question I want to throw to you: is what price do you think you're going to throw in the towel and say, okay, this is too pricey, I'm not going to buy anymore? Is it when it's $50 you're going to stop buying and you're just going to say, okay, this is too expensive? Like, let's say by next year silver does hit $50, like in like January or February and March, silver's $50. Would you continue to buy it? And we could flip that question: what price are you willing to sell at? When it's $50 when you throw in the towel, that could be dangerous, because what if it does go to $100 or $200, right? So you probably would want to do it in increments, but it is always good to have that number in your head, because panic selling and impulse buying is real. And in the moment, if you don't have a plan, if you're not prepared, you'll be investing off of emotions. And remember, emotions are the easiest way to completely go broke. Emotions is how people burn, because when you're emotionally invested, you're not thinking with your head, you're thinking with your heart. You should be investing with your head, not your heart. And that's why I like these trading bots are so accurate, because there is no emotion behind it. So yeah, remember that. Remember, try to be cool, calm, collect. Don't be the guy that's all finicky and panicky and freaks out when the markets are down $1.50 or something. That's very dangerous. So yeah, try to just remember the bigger picture. And remember that at the end of the day, we're talking about real money versus fake money, and no amount of fake money can equal any type of real money. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you guys wanted to join the Secret Silver Society, we'll be doing a really fun game we are by August 31st, we are going to see who. Okay, so I'll explain it like this. Every member of the club gets to guess one price, and that will be silver's price by August 31st. And whoever's closest, and we'll be doing this by the penny, whoever's closest, one guess per person, wins silver. So it's going to be really fun. So let's say right now silver is what? It was 29.01. So let's say I guess 29.34 and someone else guesses 29.64. If it's 29.68, then I win, right? You guys get the point. But I'm just saying it's going to be really fun, and I think it will test a lot of people's ability. But we're going to have to put in a deadline. So go join the Secret Silver Society. I'll post a link in the description, because the closer we get, the more unfair it will be. Like if someone jumps in like 5 days, 5 days behind, and then someone else guessed 10, 15 days behind, it's more than likely going to be, it'll be easier for those people to judge. So we'll put a deadline date in, probably like the 20th or something. So go join the Secret Silver Society. We also they have the member only chat. We also do raffles as well. Everyone's name goes in a bucket. I do live streams on there. It's lots of fun. So yeah, check that out. Also, make sure you subscribe. And if you guys want to check out Miles Franklin's deals right now, then email me, slayer@milesfranklin.com, or call me 330-485-6172. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.